Media Watch Newcastle is rated G and is suitable for all ages.
It's a wonderful, what a strike from Caitlin Ford. A little 1-2 on the edge of the box.
Combat Matildas, winners of the 2023 Cup of Nations.
Of course, what a good win it was for the Matildas up at the McDonald Jones Stadium in Newcastle. Of course, good afternoon. My name's Conklin McLeod, and of course, welcome to Media Watch Newcastle. And of course, it's the first episode for 2023. And don't forget, it was a much anticipated win for the Matildas as they managed to reclaim their shield. It will face off against Ireland in July. Of course, all of us couldn't wait for long. And thankfully, no one else didn't want to either. Because finally, after hours of waiting, the Matildas had a 3-0 win over Jamaica. And that, of course, is an incredible dream come true, because tomorrow there'll be a game for the Newcastle Jets, which will be played at McDonald Jones Stadium tomorrow. Of course, I'm hoping that I'll share hugs. I'm hoping that I'll get lots and lots of hugs with my favourite mascots this year. Now, still on to the sport, and of course, the Dominic Young drama continues. And of course, not only am I upset that Young is moving to the Roosters, but also Andrew Voss has all but blown up. And because of that, he's not happy. And also, he's all but said this. If I'm Newcastle, I'm saying to whoever rings up from the Roosters, I'd hang up and wouldn't even talk to them about it. Don't even come to us with the gal to take our star winger. I agree with Voss on that. And because of it, I'm hoping that Young stays with the Knights for the next 5 years. Of course, now it's time for a bit of, now let's have a look at the, now it's round 4 of the New South Wales Rugby League this week. Of course, the women, the Central Coast Roosters are up against the Illawarra Steelers. I've gone for the Central Coast to win. Plus, the Knights are up in Cowie in the Hunter Valley. I've chosen Newcastle to beat South Sydney. Don't forget, I've chosen Newcastle in the SG Ball Cup as well. And I've gone for the Canberra Raiders to beat Western Suburbs. Well, it's a mixed result right up in the Harold Matthews, in the Lower Gaelic Cup, which means that it's the North Coast Bulldogs versus the Central Coast. I've gone for the Central Coast And of course, it's a battle of the rivals, the Greater Northern Tigers, who are playing up in Tamworth, and the Northern Rivers Titans. I've gone for the Northern Rivers to secure a win. And plus, the Knights are up in Cessnock this Sunday. And of course, I've gone for the Knights to secure a win. And plus, I've done the same results in the Andrew Johns Cup as well, going for the same teams as well. And also picking the Newcastle Maitland Region Knights. But the Harold Matthews one will be brilliant because I've chosen the Knights. And of course, the Newcastle Knights are the favourites to win. And also the Central Coast Roosters to beat the Sharks. Also, I've gone for the Knights to beat the Rabbitohs right up in Curry in the Tasha Gale Cup. And of course, not bad. Now, don't forget next week, it's round 1 of the Jersey Flag Cup. Of course, the Knights have the bye. And now, of course, let's go onto what's happening on with the Knights in round 1 of the NRL as they take on the West Tigers. As they take on the Warriors on the 3rd of March. Then they take on the Tigers, and that's followed by the Knights' first ever home game against the Dolphins. Also, I'm hoping that this year will be much better for the club. And of course, don't forget, round 1 kicks off next month, which means that I'm hoping that the Knights can win all of their rounds. Thankfully, the one at McDonald Jones Stadium, which is the round 4 one, is on 9. Of course, with more games coming up, it's about to become huge. But the one thing that I'm just absolutely disappointed about is that we've been cut from the Magic round, and of course I've since taken the blame on the NRL. We've also got the bye in round 14. And of course, don't forget, the Knights are up in Coffs Harbour on May 20. And of course, there's only one thing left to do. All of us are hoping that the Knights, men's and women's, go ahead this year with victories. Now, of course, the Knights women went very well last year. I was followed by round 1, the girls had a win. Then round 2, a win. Round 3, revenge. Then the only loss. Then Gosford time. Then it was time to go to Suncorp, just in time for the preliminary final. Then, after 21 years, the Knights managed to beat the Eels in the grand final. But of course, was marked by massive amount of celebrations. Don't forget, that's about it for now. Don't forget, I'll be back next week. Until then, goodbye.